I'm uploading this video, 35-minute video reply to Das Book, and it's not entirely sensible. Who knows? I think it deserves more thought and discussion. Now, I don't have any cigarettes, which I didn't buy on purpose much earlier in the day. And so there's no reason for me to go out back and make a video, so I can walk around my house, which is what Das Book does lately, or not lately, but the last video. So hey. So I'm uploading a very thoughtful, if vacuum-filled, you know what I mean, video, 35 minutes, so. And I had some other thought on it that escapes me at the moment, because I had this idea about the fact that I was going to go out back, where I've been smoking cigarettes lately, but maybe I still will. I mean, one of the things about smoking cigarettes is I just realized I want to keep this habit of going outside every, hour or two. Just hang out outside for 5 or 10 minutes. What are you doing outside? Oh, I'm breathing. Well, that makes no sense. You should have something to do. Made sense when you were out here smoking a cigarette. The opposite of breathing. So, yeah, there was something I was going to say about this particular angle. Who knows, man? I vaguely remember thinking, life to me is I have often been known as a terminal optimist. Now, that came from my work because, in computer stuff, sometimes stuff looks like it's going to work, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it goes the opposite way, sometimes it goes how you expect. And when things were looking bad, I'm usually like, yeah, well, it's just as well to keep hope until the end, till it's all over. And I don't feel that way now. But my balanced approach to things that I attempt to make it's twofold, because on the one hand, you have to admit, well, I'm not balanced. I have I have biases. On the other hand, you can, you can integrate some balance, even if it's semi-artificial. That can, it's better than nothing. Everything's analytically artificial or whatnot, so at least, that's the only way to do it or whatever. It might not be perfect if you're trying to be perfect, but in other words, I have a balance, but when I was terminally optimistic, I was like, but I know bad things happen and tragedy. This is a part of human nature, and we'll take care of that in our compassions, and our poetry will speak of it, and we will analyze it as social problems, and we will take it into account. It's just that I'm going to keep being optimistic till I can't. And now I'm sort of, and at that time I'm kind of like, but I know, even though I'm not nihilist, I think that's impossible to have the zero state. It's like you can go zipping through the zero state. It can mean anything, plus or minus, And now I'm a little bit more like, yeah, fuck it. But then now that I'm like, yeah, it's fucking bullshit. It just, for me, I balance that with, but I don't expect everybody to see it that way. Right? And it's a funny thing, too, because, I believe in a multidimensional kind of reality. So you can't just mark up life as positive or negative, for example. You know, pretty much all of my time hanging out in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, which itself has its positives and its negatives. But if I thought of every experience hanging out in Golden Gate Park, I can't think of a bad one. You know what I mean? There might be semi-neutral, like we went there that day and it was like, it's always was, actually, it always was slightly positive. Now, does that mean every experience of mine was positive there? Probably not. But overall, my positive attitude towards Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, combined with the fact that I often, and perhaps, and I'm actually sure usually more than half of the time, I enjoy going there. Or have in the past. So those are like positive experiences with some negative experiences in there probably that I just don't, they're not typical of the case. Does that mean there would be a positive vibe there? It's just for me. Just for me. And yet it happens to be the same way for a lot of other people, right? Now, the primary way we live is by this, this intimate reality of what we experience. Now, sometimes if you put words to your experiences, they seem very out of the ordinary. Ordinary experiences are just easily, more easily correlated with other people's experiences. They're really not more. I'm walking around my house right now. I'm having an emotional experience that is totally uncorrelatable to if you walked around my house. Wouldn't be the same at all. It wouldn't. If you're going, oh, it's nice, it wouldn't be the same as the kind of niceness I'm feeling. If you're going, oh, this is tacky, it wouldn't be the same as my experience of going, oh, I'd like it to be nicer. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the same. But the differences matter less than when you're seeing, electric jellyfish and stuff. Well, I'm going to finish this one. It'll get up before the other, and I'm going to make this is the most interesting topic, so. Alright, but it's like 1:30, I gotta go to bed. Alright, cheers.